Hello, all newcomers, and welcome back, my fellow Aeternians. As always, me, Emperor AP. Today, I want to talk to you guys about something particularly interesting because I was thinking about something today that really kind of dawned on me. Um, a lot of the time when you're doing stuff in business or when you're doing stuff in life, people will tell you that there's a clear distinction between like work life and like friendships or like business and friendships and all these different things. And I think there's some very specific circumstances where you may want to keep things more distant, but for the most part, friendship is like a really, really crucial part of anything in your life. They always say it's not what you know, but who you know, and that can be hugely, hugely influential on your opportunities throughout your life, as well as the amount of people willing and able to help you with different projects. So that can be an incredible thing that you can use to your advantage. And I want to talk today about how we do that as micronations, how people who are all having kind of this common theme and common interest can come together and find friendships and find common ground, even when they may have very different ideas. So that's one of the first things to hit on in that topic. You really want to make sure that you are doing so with people who you have like-minded interests with. First off, greetings, Olaf Government. It's good to see you. How are you guys doing today? Thank you for hanging out with me. I just wanted to do a quick live stream because I haven't been able to do one in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And I'm really feeling excited about trying to discuss the concept of micronational friendship today. It's a little bit busy outside around me, as you can probably hear, but I was recommended last video that I should try a more outdoor setting. So that's what I'm up to here. If you guys like it, definitely give me a thumbs up so I can see your opinion on stuff. But the main point of today is just talking about the concept that a lot of micronations feel like, oh, well, I can't look for this or that until I have a certain amount of recognition, or I can't try and make alliances, make friendships and stuff like that with other micronations until I do a certain thing, or have some certain um, have some certain um, requirements met. And I think that's really silly. A lot of the time, if you're wanting to talk to somebody about a thing that you're interested in, maybe something you're nervous about, maybe something that you're unsure of, getting your ideas in front of people who are supportive of you and who understand you can really, really be a crucial step in developing that idea and in moving it out into a larger space. So for me, I think it's really interesting because a lot of the people that I've met through micronationalism have become some of my biggest influences in it, and have been people who have really gotten me excited about going out and making more friends through it. So it's really, really cool to see that micronationalism is something that can not only be a political idea, can not only be a way of life of seeing, we should have certain abilities and rights and um, uh, certain benefits to ourselves that we don't get and aren't allowed currently in everyday society. And so I feel like as we continue to discuss this, and particularly as I have continued to go around in my life and talk to people and hear their opinions, whether they're people who are micronationalists themselves, whether they're just friends, whether it's a person on the street, I think it's really cool to be able to hear other people's ideas and to kind of make friends through that. Because I've had plenty of conversations with people where I'll talk to them about micronationalism, and they're like, I don't understand what you're doing. I don't get it. But nonetheless, I'll still walk away with having had a good conversation with that person, and more than likely with having made a friend to some extent. There are a lot of people who want to have like follow-up conversations and stuff like this. There's a lot of people who really want to try and understand what you're doing, and communicating your message to people is huge, because there are of course going to be people who react differently than others, depending on what it is that your goals and interests are. But for a lot of people, that can be incredibly beneficial, and you can have a ton of people who come to teach you about what it is that you're up to. First off, Master Unite, it's good to see you. Let me know what you guys think about the outdoor setting. Trying kind of a new thing. But that's what we're talking about today, effectively. If you're just joining us, like Master Dionite is, talking about the concept of trying to make friends in micronationalism. There are a ton of people who feel like you need to have a certain prestige or be doing a certain thing in order to start reaching out for alliances and friendships and stuff like that, or even to reach out to people in public and just making friends, making known what you're doing. And I think that's a really tough thing for people to overcome. I think for myself, part of that as I've gradually built myself up to doing more and more with Aeternia and micronationalism, has been about my own self-esteem and about, my own social skills and stuff like that, but trying to put myself out there more and trying to put Aeternia out there more has really taught me a lot about making friends and about developing relationships. And so I think that's really cool, because every time I talk to somebody about Aeternia, they'll be like, what? Like, what is this? I don't fully understand. And then the more that you connect with somebody on something that's like a common ground issue, on something that like makes you happy and excited to talk about, like, talking about the concept that for me, one of the big things in micronationalism that always warmed my heart was the fact that I found people who understood the struggle that I was going through. I could talk to people and say, hey, my family didn't have a lot of money. This is stuff that we were going through. This is stuff that really made it hard for me to continue to develop as a person, and being worried about, what we were going to do and how we were going to do it, even as like a kid, even being in a situation where I couldn't fully help that. Connecting with other people who may not understand micronationalism at all, but say, I understand that. I understand, living a certain way of life or having certain aspirations and dreams about what you want the world to be. And being able to connect with people like that is absolutely incredible, because people will then start to listen to you more and start to appreciate what it is that you're doing. And even on those disagreements, there are plenty of people who I've had conversations with about micronationalism and about Aeternia who say, hey, that's not for me, I don't really understand what you're doing, and that's not my interest. But at the same time, a lot of the time, I will walk away with a friendship with that person. I'll walk away knowing somebody who, at very least, tried to understand what I was doing, and somebody who I think is excited to continue conversations, even if it's not trying to develop a micronation together. So first off, I want to say hi to everybody that's here. There's 3 people here, 1 like. I appreciate you guys jumping in, because this is a last minute one. I haven't been able to stream in a couple weeks, and so this is my connection point to you guys. This is me trying to get back in touch with the community and see what's up for a little bit while I take a breather. Olav Government says greetings. It's good to see you. Master Dionite, of course, is always wonderful to see you. And thank you guys for liking the stream. I see there's 1 like over there. Manu said walking home with a friend might arrive in around 10 minutes. Hey, congratulations. I hope you're getting to enjoy some time with them, and that's perfect for the topic of our conversation. So I hope you guys get to hang out and enjoy yourselves, have fun. Have you talked to this friend about your micronation? Have you talked to oh, that's true, about your ideas about micronationalism, because Manu is in an interesting situation where he himself doesn't have a declared micronation, isn't trying to develop a micronation, but has been a part of the community for a long time. He's helped Aeternia, has helped other micronations to my knowledge, and has tried to develop organizations himself, even though he doesn't specifically call them micronations. So it's really interesting to see him, and I'm curious as to what he does in talking about that with other people. But also we have Finnish German says hello from Kingsland in the Brass Islands. That's interesting. What gave you the name? Is there a place around you called like Brass Islands, or is that's something unique to kind of your culture and what you developed there? Sprinsky Republic says hello. Hey, good to see you. First off, I like your flag. I think that's pretty cool. I'm curious if you have like a historical connection. I don't know of a lot of micronations like orange, brown, orange, black, and green stripes, or even macronations. So I may just be missing something. I'm not a huge vexillology nerd, but let me know. Sprinsky said, I'm still trying to learn it. People have to educate me all the time on what different symbolism and in flags and the different like sailing flags and stuff mean. But it's good to see you. Sprinsky says thank you, of course. So anyway, to get back on topic, we were talking about micronational friendships. A lot of micronations, when they go to develop these friendships, okay, you have your micronation, you've developed as much as you can to the point that you're at, you've started to reach out to people, and you find that that's not really getting a lot of reception. It's not working out for you. I think a lot of people's first instinct, especially because these are passion projects, these are things that people really care about and they really want to succeed, they will start to try to get defensive about stuff. When people like criticize what you're doing, or when they try to share their opinion, a lot of the time people retract from that, because it's like it's showing someone your art, it's showing someone your politics. A lot of the time it may be showing someone religious interests that you have, and so all those things can be very, very touchy subjects for people. And when you try to openly discuss their ideas or criticize their ideas, they can get very, very upset. And so I think a lot of micronational would-be friendships that happen end up getting pushed away because of differences in ideology, and that really sucks because there are of course ideologies that are just too different to be friends, I suppose, and some ideologies that I personally wouldn't seek people out who are friends who are part of. But at the same time, I think that there are plenty of opportunities where people who have different mindsets can come together and can learn from each other. And I think those opportunities where that can happen are really missed by the micronational community because there is this concept of, almost isolationism, just being like, oh, well, I'm going to work on my thing and I'm going to do my thing, and everybody else's thing is so different from my thing that I'm not really interested in that. So, for example, people who are developing micronations as like a real community attempt, people who are trying to, give back to their communities, people who are trying to provide housing for homeless people, people who are trying to, create intentional communities, communes, whatever. Those people will really look down on people who are LARPing, as they call it, or like role playing or whatever. People who are like, oh, my micronation is just an online thing. It's just something between me and my friends, or it's just something that is an artistic thing for me. And I think that's really silly because a lot of time those people have really, really cool ideas, and so it's weird to like get on out somebody else's like creative stuff when you are basically doing a similar thing. Your goal is just different. Your end goal is different, but you set up a lot of the same stuff. So it's weird to be like, even though that person does things that directly interest me and directly benefit me, I'm not going to listen to them because they don't have the same end goal as me. Is very weird and very silly. Those people have experience. Those people have talents that are a lot of time wasted because they don't get enough credit and they don't get shown enough to the community. No matter what your idea, no matter what your purpose is, you should still be able to have your voice heard and be contributing. And I think that's really slept on. That's something that the community really, really needs to change. And I hope to see more of that. Every time somebody posts their stuff in our Discord, I get excited about it, especially when it's talking about something that they're doing that's interesting and unique. Every micronation will post their flag, every micronation will post their anthem. Sometimes they'll post a little history thing, which is getting more on the interesting side. People talk about like micronational war and stuff, which like it's a historical thing, but I also have a bias against it. But then you'll see stuff like random, like all of a sudden, hey, one of our holidays is this and this and this, and we all do this and this, and they'll be like, oh, and we all like get in masks and we do this different thing. It's really cool to see different, unique cultural pinpoints from different micronations. Some micronations are just good at art, and they'll like post a whole bunch of art. And those are things that really can like bring nations together. That's something that I've seen that's really interesting in our Discord as well. There are plenty of people who will start out knowing each other on our Discord, arguing. Like they won't have any similar political connections or affiliations or interests. They will dislike each other for a number of reasons. They'll comment back and forth on each other's things and talk crap about each other. And then all of a sudden there's one day, like months down the line, where one of them's like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm a really good artist. And then the other person's like, oh, I want to commission a drawing from you, or oh, I want to, can you make my flag for me? Can you make this or that for me? Or how'd you do that? What software do you use? And people start to become friends like that. It's really, really cool. First off, Sprinsky says, I totally agree. It's really annoying when people shoot down ideas for like that for being LARPing. Agreed. And I think from the perspective of those people, if I were to put myself in their shoes, some of them are just jerks. I'm going to say that flat out. Some of them, I think, have good intentions in some sections, but they're doing so in a really, like, weird way. So there'll be people who are like, oh, I made, like, a boat or whatever, and I'm going to, like, do this and that, which we've done before. Or there'll be people who are like, I have, like, a land that's this size or whatever, because I claim, like, a park. And then other people will come in and be like, no, but you can't actually do that without this and this and this and this, and you're really bad at it because this and this and this. And I think from their point of view, their concern is like, oh, well, this person's going to run into some issue if they try and push this too hard, or, oh, well, they don't fully understand other micronations. They have like a contested area with that, or that there's, that there's some maybe negative connotation to what they're doing that they're not seeing. And instead of saying that in a way that's reasonable and respectful to the person's idea as much as possible, they will just not say any of it. They won't give any of that disclaimer. They won't give any explanation to try to like understand the other person, or to try to explain themselves from a point of view of like respect of that other nation and that other individual. but instead we'll just say it's bad and terrible and you're silly for thinking that, which isn't a way to foster friendships or even to teach somebody something if the point of what you're doing is trying to educate people. But Master D Knight says right now, uh, I'm working on a royal outfit and culture idea for my Micronation. Hey, very cool. Can you tell us a little bit about it, Master D Knight? I know we one time had a live stream where we talked about Aeternia and its ensemble and its uniform design. That was something that helped me out in Microcon. I'm not sure if you saw our Microcon videos, but I tried out a different outfit. I tried out a different sort of thing, and it was really cool because I still had like a jacket to some degree, but I had kind of a long and flowy thing around me. I had like a large scarf that kind of hung over my shoulders and stuff. It was pretty cool. It was one of the times that I got a little bit different, a little more unique with my style of dress for representing Eternia and for doing micronational appearances and stuff. But it's really interesting because I have still incorporated some of that into like my everyday wear. So, for example, wearing the Eternian leg wraps that we had talked about before. Um, that's something that's really interesting as well. Now that we've been doing our metals refining, getting into making little emblems and symbols for necklaces for Eternia and having our culture be shown that way, like you and I talked about. I'm really excited about that, and so I think stuff like that you're doing, where you're working on yourself, can be very very good. Working on your micronation can be very very good. But a lot of the time, people will miss out on opportunity. And this isn't talking about you, Master Unite. I know you got some friends, uh, but I mean, you and we got this design game going. But for a lot of people, they don't necessarily have that same mindset, and so there will be situations where people really could get a lot of benefit from each other. I'll see two micronations doing projects that are so parallel to each other at the same time that if they were to just work together, it would have so much more impact. And a lot of the time they don't, and that's really disappointing, and that sucks. But at the same time, I think finding out the reasons for that and trying to discuss them openly and trying to overcome that can be a huge, huge benefit for what we do as a community. I'm going to keep reading a few comments right here. Torrance joined us. Good to see you, Prince Torrance. He said F is for, and then left it blank. Master DNI says, yes, I'm waiting to incorporate I'm waiting to incorporate the Chinese Hanfu style for my regular wear as High King. That's the style I envision my nation's clothing to look like. Hey, very cool. Master DNI said, and yes, I saw your Microcon video and it was cool. Very cool. I'm glad to hear about that. I wanted to bring up as well, it's weird. I checked the analytics the other day. For some reason, we don't get a ton of like notifications out to people. The recommended notifications don't really go out to people. So, and only 10% of our subscribers actually have all notifications turned on for us. So if you're one of those 90% that don't, check to make sure you do have all notifications set on for us, so that way YouTube will recommend our content to you more. And sometimes even with that, they won't. So definitely try to go through your subscription feed and check us out, and make sure that you try and catch as much of our stuff as you can, so that YouTube will recommend it more. I know that that's annoying, but at the same time, YouTube sometimes doesn't like niche content and doesn't help out niche creators. So I appreciate you guys doing that. Let me go ahead and see. Hey, very cool. Oh, okay, I get you. My bad, Torrance. Torrance was hitting me up with a joke. Master DNA says, yeah, I saw your Microcon video and it was cool. Torrance said F is for friends who do stuff together. Hey, I missed it. I missed your joke. I appreciate it now, though. That did give me a good little internal chuckle. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the time, as micronations, we don't hit up those simple F is for friends things. We don't hit up those simple gestures that show that we care about others and that we're trying to do this for more than ourselves, because a lot of the time we are trying to build a thing based on our vision, based on our ideas, based on our artistic endeavors, based on our ways of viewing the world. But ultimately, if you're saying you're creating a nation or you're creating a community or anything like that, you really need to be doing it for other people. And so when you're developing things and you're envisioning them, I think it's really, really important to take those first steps and to try to go outward and find people who you know are going to be impacted by that, and people that you know are in your support network who are going to listen to you and hear you out and give comments and criticisms. And then you can take those things and refine them and try them out again, try them out in a different method. And eventually you're going to hit on some ideas that people go, yeah, that's really cool. I hadn't thought about that before. Oh, you know what, that's really interesting. I probably wouldn't do that myself, but I have some friends who'd be really down for it. You never know what you'll find just by talking to people and trying stuff out. Um, First off, Torrance says time and place, LOL AP. I appreciate you. It's good to see you. Torrance says love the streams. Hey, thank you, Torrance. I think it's really tough because I want to do more of the streams. I would love to be streaming, maybe not constantly, but I would love to be streaming very, very regularly. I feel like there are so many things throughout the day, throughout the week and month, where I want to talk to you guys. I want to show you, hey, this is what we're doing right now. This is what's going on in Aeternia. This is how we're trying to develop and move and grow. And we don't always have the opportunity to do that. I'll find myself feeling like, oh, I lost so much good content that I could share with everybody. Oh, I lost so many good opportunities to share a thought that I had that was really inspirational for me. And so I love doing these with you guys, and I appreciate you for being here. We have 5 likes right now and 4 viewers. The other way around, 5 viewers and 4 likes. So thank you guys for liking the video. But it's one of those things that really helps for us. Being a part of these streams and hanging out with me allows me to understand what you guys like better and allows me to get more in tune with what I'm interested in the community. I'm getting this feedback from you guys as well as when I talk to people out in public and out in person. It's heartwarming to me because whether it's criticism that you guys give me, like some people do, or whether it's support, I know that as Aeternians we're growing from it. I'm trying to figure out a better way to do things. I'm trying to figure out what the right opportunities are for us. And every single time I get on this stream, I learn a little bit more about what that means. So thank you guys. First off, Torrent says, I literally want to save the world. I want everyone to win. I don't have a niche. King Mania is intended to be a hub, bringing different people together, the facilitator. I should work on that. I agree with that, Torrance. That sounds wonderful. Trying to be the best that you can be, trying to be as inclusive to as many people as possible is really, really important. And it's good to see the world from that perspective. You know, you don't want to envision the future of the society that you would like to live in as, you know, a position where you're, you know, from the position of somebody who's in political authority or something like that. You want to envision that society from the point of view of the everyday individual. What's that person like? What's that person getting up to do? How are they doing that? And I think that's the thing that you talk about with other people, right? When you express culture, and I think that's one of the things that's really different for micronations as opposed to every other person on the earth, and that's why it seems so strange to people sometimes, and why we come off as so strange to people sometimes is because if you were talking to people about a thing that you're doing, for example, you know, people in the United States or people in, you know, Brazil or wherever you're from, when they talk about their country, their home, you know, their society, they talk about it from the perspective of being inside that, from the perspective of an everyday person. And if you can't do that to other people, it feels foreign, it feels strange, no pun intended. It feels disconnected. You're talking from the position of leadership in a country, which is an entirely different thing and isn't really beneficial or interesting to somebody who is trying to develop as themselves inside a society. And so if you're not able to connect with somebody on that, that's going to be a weird sticking point, even for micronational leaders. Micronational leaders sometimes, and I'll see this a lot of time on video calls and stuff, or, you know, different forums, where the way the micronational leaders talk to each other is very, very formal and is very rigid and is very, you know, this thing that has to be a very, very fancy dance, so to speak, between these two. It's this very almost choreographed interaction. And I think that is not the way to go about making friends. It's the way to show off pomp and pageantry, but it's not something that you do when you're trying to connect with another human being and trying to grow that. Not all micronations do that, but some do, and I think it's a way to kind of avoid that the really vulnerable nature of a direct human interaction. And so um, it's really wonderful to do the opposite of that and to see micronations opening up and expressing themselves and being expressions of people like they are. Um, so yeah, I appreciate all the friendship that I've made here in the micronational community, and I want to see what you guys learn about that. First off, Gamerist, is that your name? Gamer East. What's up, Gamer East? You from the East? You from the West? Where you at? Did you go so far east that you went west, or maybe the other way around? Let us know. It's good to see you, and thank you guys for liking. Again, it helps to spread the stream to more people, and then we get a bigger conversation about micronational friendships. You could even find a friend in this chat. Sprinsky says, one of the cool things, in my opinion, are when micronations actually border each other and can work on projects. Sometimes they can be trouble if they don't get along, but mostly good. I agree with that. And a lot of the time you'll see that with friends who develop micronations together. I've seen that plenty. Where you will have communities of micronations that spring up in a certain area of the country or the world because there will be a group of friends who are all interested in it. They find out about it, it becomes their hobby for a while, and then they will take that up and all develop them. A lot of the time, those clusters that pop up will kind of all fall down at the same time, because if it's a group thing that makes it popular, a lot of the time the individuals aren't hardcore about it, but sometimes there are, and so you'll see a big group of micronations pop up in an area and then just one really hold strong and stay standing. But you never know. So it's really cool to see that, though. That can be one of the most creative and inspiring things, is when you see people who already have a deep connection with each other, who already are really passionate about the same things, coming together and creating stuff in micronationalism. I completely agree. One of the closest friends that I've made in micronationalism is a guy named Charles Brzett. He is the General Secretary of Parkistopia, which is a micronation that bordered us, not exactly, but was a fairly short driving distance for us when we had our southern territory in South Alabama. So that was a really, really incredible experience. I think they are still going. They are certainly still our allies, if that is the case. But we haven't been very active with them. Their general secretary had gone and done other things in life, but we still keep up every once in a while on Facebook. And so that's one of those things that's really, really cool to see, because I know if we did get in contact with each other, that we could pick up right where we left off. Maybe not necessarily as the leaders of countries, but as friends. I can reach out and say, hey, this is what I'm doing with Aeternia, and this is what we're working on together. These are the different people who have become a part of this project, and this is what we're thinking about, and this is what we're trying to do, and we're all running around like chickens with our heads cut off. And then vice versa, there's this other side of it where just this person who's had their life experience and has traveled. This guy has been to, I think the place that he went was, I don't want to be incorrect. I want to say Venezuela, but I could be incorrect about exactly where he went. But he traveled the world to go to college. It was really, really cool. And so I see all the time his Facebook pictures and stuff of him going and traveling. And the one time that I talked to him, it seemed like he had developed so much as a person within the last couple years. And so I would love to see that again. I would love to get to hear from him and learn what he thinks about what we're doing and how we're going, and what that wisdom and life experience has taught him. So I'm really grateful for that. And I think those are things that motivate us. They're things that help us to get out of our comfort zone, and they're things that challenge us to do better and to build better in our communities and societies. Gamer East says, hello, I'm from the East. Hey, very cool. Where East, I suppose, Gamer? Sprinsky Republic says, oh no, hopefully it doesn't do that since I'm part of one of those large groups of micros. Well, no, I wish you luck. And that doesn't necessarily have to be the case at all. I guess, can you tell me a little bit about it? Is something that just developed with a group of friends in your area, or how did that develop? How long have they been around as well? Because a lot of the time, that's one of the things that you'll see. If micronations make it for more than a year or two, generally they're sticking around for a while. It's a lot of effort to put into something for it to then dissolve. But you never know. Some micronations are around for 5 years and then dissolve, or 10 years and then dissolve. But I think that's just developing on the circumstances of people's lives. And that's the same for a lot of those clusters of micronations. When they do rise and fall really quickly, it's because, well, everybody gets into it for like a month or two, and then they'll create a whole bunch of them, and then they'll be like, oh, well, we don't really know where to go from here. This wasn't that serious a thing for us or whatever, and then they dissolve and move on. But nonetheless, that's still an exciting thing. And even if that did happen, where like your micronation survives or whatever and keeps going, but all these other ones fall off, those people will still be great avenues for advice and for inspiration, because they will have known what it's like to develop a micronation right alongside you. They'll know what your micronation is doing, and they'll also know a little bit about their own hope for the future, because that still won't be gone with them. They'll still have that interest and that mindset and that viewpoint, even if they're not developing a micronation actively. So that is, for having existed, that is incredible for you, and I think for years to come, if you decide to pursue it, will be of great benefit to you in your project and in your micronational development. Manu said, okay, what'd I miss? What's up, Manu? Thank you for joining us. Also, 7 viewers, 4 likes. I appreciate you guys being here and liking the stream. Again, if you like the outdoor setting that we're at now, or if you like what we're talking about today and just micronational friendships, please like the video because it helps to get more people in. Manu, quick update. Talking about micronational friendships, talking about the concept that people sleep on it a lot of the time. They won't reach out to people soon enough because they think that they don't have enough to offer as a micronation, or they feel like they don't have the social skills or whatever to do it. They feel like their project isn't ready yet to be revealed to people or whatever, and so they won't go about pursuing that. I'm just talking about the benefits that having those people that you can confide in and those people that you can bounce your ideas off can be really, really effective, because everybody has an opinion on stuff. Even if, they don't consider themselves super political people, or even if they're not particularly interested in micronationalism, or even if, you try to recruit those people as a micronationalist and those people aren't interested in what you're doing, that can still provide incredible insight as to that person's opinions on your ideas. That can still provide incredible insight as to your approach to different things. And that can also just lead to a group of people who support you as an individual and want to help you because of that. So micronational friendships, whether they be micronation to micronation, or whether they be micronation to individual, whether they be individual to individual, are always incredibly exciting to see, because it means the collection of ideas. It means the support of this community through its most fervent and active members. And it's a way that we grow as people. So that's absolutely incredible. And that's what we're talking about, is how beneficial friendships can be. For example, Manu and I is a great example. Manu is somebody, I think I talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the stream, but is a person who has been a part of the micronational community for a long time, has developed projects and organizations on his own that have similar aims to micronations, but I don't think he has fully called a micronation before. And he's helped Aeternia a lot as well. Without being a citizen, even just being someone who is personally interested in the project and wanting us to be able to develop bigger and bigger as a community and as a nation, as a full-fledged country. We are trying to do things that push the boundary of who we are and what we can do every single day. And Manu has been there for multiple large-scale changes and phases in that. Everywhere from, when we were just streaming primarily online to it, playing video games, stuff like that, to our initial attempts at our online market and development and that, and rushing around trying to do that, to now kind of being in the second phase where we're building up from there. We have this land purchase. We are trying to make bigger moves as far as recruiting local citizens and doing stuff like that. So that's super, super hard to fully get out there and to fully explain how big of an impact that is. But it has truly helped Aeternia, and I'm grateful for you, Manu, for that. Even though you are not a citizen, you are somebody who has had an incredible impact on our culture and who we are. And that deserves to be recognized, and that's part of what today is, just highlighting the fact that there are friends like that. As well, Torrance of King Mania. Torrance and I have very different ideas on politics some of the time and on what a government should look like. Nevertheless, he is somebody who has been incredibly helpful to Aeternia. He's another micronationalist in Alabama, and is someone who's doing his own project and developing his own thing for his own interests, but nonetheless, we have still found a lot of benefit through each other, and he's been a wonderful supporter of Aeternia and a wonderful help for us. He has one, which is an incredible thing that we still do not have a full solution for. He has created the Kingmanian Citizenship Fund, which effectively provides a citizenship scholarship, excuse me, which effectively provides 1 free year of citizenship to anybody who we choose to give it to. It's a one-time free giveaway, effectively. He paid the equivalent of 1 year's citizenship taxes for somebody to become a citizen of Aeternia, just anybody who, wants to. And so if we can find a candidate for that, that would be wonderful. I'll probably go in later and throw the link to the application in the description here, and I'll throw it in our Discord as well, just in case anybody wants to check it out. But that's something we still have not filled, and that's something that has been a great benefit to us as well from those friendships. So we've got Manu helping out with things like videos on our channel before, art for our channel currently, and more video ideas and stuff, as well as just providing feedback for what we're doing. Manu being somebody who's developed organizations and been in the community for a long time, as well as Torrance, who is creating a Micronation as well. They always have ideas. They're always the people who are coming and saying, well, I disagree with this, or, well, I think you should phrase that differently, or, well, I really like that idea. Have you tried this thing before? And it's always an incredible learning opportunity for me. So I'm going to sit back a little bit. Excuse me, moving everything. Gosh golly. I know that's the best view. Yep, you guys love it. Certain. Okay, this is a little bit better. My feet were falling asleep. Okay, so that's what you missed, Manu. Hopefully you're a little better caught up now. Let me check in. Master D-Knight says, I'm about to start driving, so I won't be able to talk in the chat for a bit. That's okay. Thank you for continuing to hang out with us, Master D-Knight. You're helping us with those watch time hours. That's one of the things that's really cool right now. We're at about 205 watch time hours for this past 28 days. And if we can get over 300, I think it's like 310 or 320 watch time hours or something, we'll be on track to get 4,000 watch time hours for the year. So every week we're trying to push for that. Unfortunately, last week I wasn't able to do any live streaming at all. This week I'm only able to do this one on Wednesday, so that's been hurting us a little bit, but we're jumping back up and we're getting up to that 300 mark again. So thank you. Sprinsky says, yeah, it's a group of friends. Sprinsky predates a lot of our neighbors. We were about as an empire for 2 years. Now our republic. Our neighbors came last year. 2 are very close allies. Hey, very cool. But still, that's something that's incredible. So you guys have been around for a while, so you know it's something that doesn't at least go away within the year. It's something that you've carried on for 2 years. That seems like it's relatively serious, or at least that you're very dedicated to it. So that being the case, I would say I wouldn't worry about it too much, because it seems like you already have an interest in what you're doing. And as well, if those people are coming in after 2 years, you have a lot that you can teach them, I'm sure. You can help them to overcome a lot of hurdles that maybe they would have caused them not to stick with it as much. But as well, that's something that is completely an opportunity for you, and I'm curious to see what you do with it. Regardless, I think those friendships will be incredibly beneficial to you. Manu says, I don't know, maybe one of these days I'll fill out the form. Hey, you should. I'll go ahead and send it to you just in case. It would mean a lot. Joel Jurgen Briggs says, how's your relationship with the Draconian Empire? You're absolutely right. That's somebody that I just completely slipped my mind, but I have been talking to recently a lot. But even before that, I have been incredibly thankful for the Draconian Empire. They are somebody who I should have name dropped from the beginning. The Draconian Empire is a group that I support heavily. We are currently subscribed to their YouTube channel. I recommend you guys do as well. But they're cool. It's Lord Emperor Victor Von Doom and his wife Alicia, Empress Alicia. And they are the heads of the Draconian monarchy. They're trying to establish effectively like their dynastic family for creating this micronation. They're doing so specifically through their family. So I think a lot of it to them is about like generational wealth building, about protecting themselves and their rights. It's about, to my knowledge, being black and black culture, and trying to develop as far as that's concerned. They uh, are a particularly interesting group, and I'm incredibly lucky to know them. They are some of my closest friends in the micronational community, and I feel like I learn something every time I talk to them. We've been having for a long time these video calls where we'll discuss topics, and I never record them and I never put them out. But over those video calls and those conversations about, him talking about what he's doing with Draconia, and what they're doing as a family and how they're trying to develop that, and myself trying to get Vitae off the ground and starting to look to recruit for people, they, as they're a little bit older than me, have been incredibly beneficial in their wisdom. But as well, just having that friend, having that ear there, and bouncing ideas back and forth has been a benefit to us in like the past 7 to 10 projects we have done. And they're constantly pushing us to get better, just as we are with them. So again, an incredible group of people, super warm, super friendly, both very caring, both considerate people. I would recommend you check them out, get to know their family, and as well, yeah, that is another fantastic example. Thank you, Joel, for bringing up those. And there's more too. We have Arcovia as well, who have been incredible friends with us, who have helped us to bankroll our purchase of Vitae as well. Giving us a few $100s to put toward that, which is no small feat for micronationalism at all. Effectively giving us like foreign aid to help out with that was absolutely incredible. So we have made a swath of friends in this community, and I have been lucky for every single one of those people that I've gotten to meet. Even if nothing ever had come of it, the fact that I had met those people and got to know them was a privilege. But on top of that, there have been incredible benefits that have come from that in both a knowledge perspective, in a cultural perspective, and in a financial perspective. That, one thing boosts the rest of the things, and I have been grateful to have the opportunity to do that and to try and return the favor to those people. So that's a great question, Joel. How do you know the Draconian Empire? Did you go and subscribe to them? Have you been hanging out, or did you come to us from them? Like what's your relationship? Are you a citizen of the Draconian Empire? Excuse me, one second. But thank you, Joel, for bringing that up. We have six viewers, 5 likes. Thank you, guys. Sprinsky says, our group of micronations is pretty good since most of us get along, but unfortunately our sector is known for, quote, very annoying micronational war, because a former ally who turned, but most get along. First off, that's good to hear. I'm glad you have some good friends and people who care about what you're doing. I will say that tends to happen a lot. That's really the main driver of like micronational wars and micronational conflicts, is essentially people who get into beefs either because the agreements didn't work out, or they dissolved from one another when they were one group and then they broke away and they're rebelling or whatever. There's all these different situations where that happens, and that's a little bit silly, but that's the antithesis of micronational friendships, essentially. So as today we're talking about micronational friendships and hyping that up, the opposite. Why we've talked about micronational war being so terrible, and if you haven't, like Sprinsky Republic, you may not have, we have a video talking about why micronational war is stupid. We have a whole video on it. You should check it out. But this is the opposite of that. We never made a video talking about the alternative and the benefit to micronational friendship. Micronational war conflict kills friendship, and it's a thing that only causes micronations to stagnate and suffer, and to also look a little bit silly. Being silly and having a fun culture or whatever is different from being aggressive, but in a very non-serious way. It's a completely different vibe, and I definitely recommend that you be careful about what you're doing and why you're doing it, especially when you throw out terms like war or conflict or violence. Not saying you guys in particular, people in general. So again, Sprinsky Republic says, yeah, I've seen it and I completely agree. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's such a tough topic because people want to do that. They want a way to express themselves as, hey, I don't like what you're doing and I don't think that's right. But in my opinion, the best way to get those ideas across is to talk to that person. It'd be so much cooler to see micronational debates rather than micronational wars. There are so many opportunities for us to come together as nations and to help each other out, that giving each other platforms like that, showing the opportunity for us to succeed is really powerful, I think. Um, Goodness. One of the things that I would like to do one of these days is to host a live stream where I go through different micronational ideas and I essentially take people's pitches. So I'll say, hey, maybe I'll come on stream one day and I'll say, hey, this is what we're planning on doing. I may post it, a week or two in advance and say, everybody get your pitches ready for this date, because on this date, we're going to have everybody throw in their ideas for this particular topic in micronationalism. And then whichever one works out the best, we'll like keep going for or whatever. So I would love to see that. Maybe for the citizenship, that would be something that would be really interesting to see. If we could get enough people who were interested in our Aeternian citizenship, that would be the first thing that we could do. Is we could take all those different people and say, hey, come up with a 3-minute pitch or whatever, a 5-minute pitch as to why you deserve to get free citizenship for a year in the Empire of Aeternia. All benefits included, your free digital citizenship license, connecting on our website, the Discord perks, all of that, as well as just trying to help us develop, potentially being able to take on government positions, all of that opportunity, 100% for free if you can give us like a solid 3-minute, 5-minute pitch, whatever, for what it is that you feel you bring to the table. So why you should be a part of the group, why you should be a part of Aeternia, why you deserve to represent our great nation. So if that were the case, I'd be curious to see what people do. I would love to be able to have that kind of thing, and I can post a link where people can join live on the stream, and it'll be like we did last time with Emperor Von Doom of Draconia, where it'll split the screen and he'll be over here and I'll be over here, and you can make your pitch as to why you should be a part of Aeternia, and then we'll cut it back. And I think that would be so cool to be able to have multiple different people talking about that, and we could do that as a platform for a lot of different live streams and a lot of different live stream topics. So if that's not your one, maybe you want to come on to talk about why your micronation is so cool. What's the most unique thing about your culture? What's the biggest problem that you faced in micronationalism? And when we get to talk about all that together, and when people get to see in person, when people get to see over the screen that there is someone else who's going through the same thing, and we talk through the problems and we work through it and figure it out, I think that's really powerful. So I would love to have more of you guys on the stream. What I'll probably do at some point, because we used to do a similar thing with our Discord chat, but people would jump in and make noises and be silly. So we'll probably have to vet it to some degree, but I would love to get some repeat guests on the live streams, to have people who can talk about micronationalism and to feel like we can really make some progress on some of these concepts. So I appreciate that, you guys. So also let me know what you guys think about that. That's been part of something that I've been trying to connect to in general with another idea that I've had for a long time for Aeternia, that I've never felt we've had a good timing for. First off, Manu said, gotta go, wish you well. All good, Manu. Hope you have fun with your friend. See you later. And thank you for hanging out with us. I can't wait to talk to you more about Hoot Hour. The big thing for me, I have wanted to do something called quests in the Empire of Aeternia for a long time. Essentially, what quests would be are activities that you can choose to complete for a specific reward. So, like a quest, like in a video game or something. But effectively, we would have these quests on our website, and we would allow you to apply for those quests, initially just directly through us. And then we would say, okay, well, we're going to select all these people. Whoever wins it and, gets the quest, gets the reward and gets the prize. Some of these may be a thing where it's like, oh, if you just submit to it, then you get the reward automatically. Some of them for, crazier rewards may be like, only the top 3 or the top 1 or whatever get the award. But that would be, I think, something that would be really cool to generate more excitement around the micronational community and to get people really pushing their ideas out and trying to grow. It also showcases talent in the micronational community, which we love to see. Uh, Manu said, we already went our separate ways, we just live close to each other. Makes sense. But that's something that I'm trying to do to get some more buzz around the Empire of Eternia, because that's always good. But as well, to really try to hone in on something that makes this community more close-knitted. First off, there's some geese flying overhead. But to make the community more tight-knit, I think is really, really powerful for us. And we have an opportunity to do that by just creating things that allow for more community interaction. And for me, I think those quests are a great way to do that, because people already spend so much time and effort developing their own nations. It's very hard to make those friendships. It's very hard to make those connections, in part because a lot of people want something out of that, and that's perfectly fine, but that can be expensive when you don't have very much time. So when people reach out and are trying to do projects with each other, it can feel tough because, oh, well, do I really spend 10 hours working on a project with this person that may work out, that may not work out, or do I spend those same 10 hours working on something for my micronation that I can show off and have completed and know it's going to be good? So that's been a big question, and I think having an opportunity to join into something that already gives you a set reward that you know you're going to be doing, that you know you're going to be having, would be a great way to get people more engaged and more active in that, and also get them some clout, because we could show off those winners and we could say, hey, look what they're doing, and look at these micronations which are making incredible progress. And so it makes it that much easier to devote time to doing things like building up and community connection. Sprinsky Republic says, it's quite late, so I have to get to sleep, but thanks for answering the questions and for the helpful live streams. Of course, Sprinsky, thank you so much. Again, if you can, remember, try to turn on all notifications for us at some point if you haven't already. But again, I appreciate you, and I will see you next time. Thanks for joining us. It means a lot. Okay, so in continuation with that, that's just something that's been really weighing on my mind, is the concept of bringing that community together, of having those friends, and then turning that into something practical. A lot of the time in these live streams, and especially in our edited videos, I really want to make it clear that there is an end goal to what we discuss. There is a way that you can take it and put it into practice. People don't like, to develop something for a long time only to find out that it's not super useful. And so everything that we develop on this channel is something that we're trying to bend to work in a more practical way for micronation. Something that we're trying to get to ensure that it helps take that next step. There are constantly roadblocks in micronationalism to what you want to do, to the opportunities that you have, whether those are with people, whether that's with money, whatever it is, influence. That can be tough. First off, Utreya, it's good to see you. Thank you for joining us, and also thank you for liking the live stream if you have. We're talking about micronational friendships today, and effectively how important those are. But at the moment, we're talking about how we take the concepts that we've been talking about on the stream, of effectively why those friendships are so important and so powerful. I gave some previous examples with Aeternia, name drop some of our friends, but how you take all that concept of making those friendships and developing them and put it into practical use for your nation. And so for me, what that is really about is making something that is functional for it, making something that makes it easier for you to do that. Like we said, a lot of people don't have a ton of time to develop their micronations, and so there are micronational organizations that are out there which you can make friends through really easily. But if you don't have the time to dedicate to those organizations, you're going to feel like you're not contributing a lot. They're going to feel like you're not contributing a lot, and it's going to be hard to actually make progress in that. But if you had something, a system of some sort, where you feel incentivized to do that, where you feel excited and you get a reward for doing something that goes along with helping to grow that community, and also helps you to establish a better connection and a better representation in that community, that gets you some clout and gets you some additional advertisement for your project and your ideas, that creates a level of opportunity for you. Not only as an immediate reward that you get for the thing, but also as that continual building of clout and of community support. So for me, that quest concept is really, really important. We already have a system in which people, whether they're citizens of ours, whether they're foreign dignitaries from other countries, or whether they're just individual people who want to get identified and want to be a part of the larger Aeternian community, can all get licensed. Effectively, you just fill out some forms on our website, and we will create a digital license for you and send it to you. Citizenship licenses, of course, you have to be a citizen, but the rest of them are pretty easy to get. And so we go from that to now saying, okay, well, we can verify all these people and we can show that we know who these people are, they're friends of ours, they're a part of our community. How do we get these people to be able to push their talents to the world? All these people who are amazing, creative micronationalists, these quests would be a great way to do that, to be able to say, hey, everybody, the Empire of Aeternia is announcing that we need something. This thing is something that is important to us. This is something that helps us to achieve the next step in what we want to do. And how are we going to be able to do that? We need your help. And then you can, ooh, that bird was very fast. I don't know if y'all saw that on camera, but there was a bird that sped really quickly by me. That was cool. But we need your help to accomplish our mission. And the way that we're going to do that is by releasing this quest. The Emperor of Aeternia, Emperor AP, has released that we need to find the best design for Vitae, or we need this and that and the other. And I think having some way that we can post those contests and post those things out there would be an incredible opportunity for us. And I think it would allow an opportunity for you guys to shine as well. So let me know what you think about that, because that's been something that I've been trying to figure out how to work in for a long time. I've thought about the initial concept, but finding when is the right time to put it out there, how to put it out there, how to start these quests has been a little bit of a process for me. So I'm starting to try and test out the idea and do that. I hit up a poll in our Discord asking about that, and we got 7 thumbs up, 7 people supporting and saying they would like to see those quests. So let me know for you guys. If you can drop down in the comments and tell me what you feel like would be interesting to see. Torrance, hey, what's going on? It's good to see you. Thanks for continuing to watch the stream. Torrance said Dasani endorsement. I gotta cover it up. I gotta hide it a little better. I'm just drinking plain unassociated water. That happens to be green and blue. I've been trying to figure that out. I think it would also offer an opportunity for micronations who feel like, oh, well, I don't have anything to give. I don't have any way to support. I can't, get more money. I can't get more influence. I can't do whatever because I don't have any money. I don't have, any way to do things. If you have a creative ability that you can apply to one of these quests, then we can get you a reward. If you get a reward, you can use that to, show off more, or you can use that to, potentially trade with someone else to do a thing, or, potentially just save up a whole bunch of these rewards and get different things from us. That could be everything from Imperial Notes to stickers from us, to metal pieces that are created, to special roles on our Discord server, to shout outs on our videos, to maybe a special interview that I do, or maybe having a Zoom lunch or something with somebody. Like, let me know what you guys would want as rewards as well, because I think there's, again, big opportunity for us to connect the community through this, to find ways that we can say, hey, this is something that Aeternia needs, this is what we're going to do to start out with. And then I would love to be able to open that up to the community itself, so that people who are trusted, people who are reliable, can post their own quests and have that worked on as well. But for now, I want to see if we can do it with Aeternia and see if that'll work out, so let me know. I've been racking my brain about it, and I think I have a few ideas for what kind of quests I would want and a few rewards. We talked about some of those just a second ago, but which ones go where? Which one is our first quest? What are we trying to get people to do? How are we trying to get people to do it? I think is the tougher one. And so I think as a way to connect micronations, to make more of those friends, this is an opportunity because it provides additional value to the community as far as allowing people to show more value for who they are and what their projects are, what their nations are. But more importantly, it allows micronations to be able to connect and collect that value as a group. You know, you would see who wins these things, so you would know who has something of value that you may want. And then if you reach out to that person and you say, hey, I would love to do that thing, I would love to do a thing for you that you need help with in exchange for that thing that you won from the quest from earlier, you can create a huge network of value from that. And I think that has incredible opportunity ahead of it. We just have to keep pushing to try and get it done. So again, for me, trying to step on this system and start it out and get the ball rolling has been something that's been weighing heavy on my mind recently. I want to develop a new video for us, so I want to put out another edited video pretty quickly, but I don't know how well that's going to work out. Right now we have 2 orders that people have ordered back to back from the Imperial Market, which thank you if you're watching for whoever purchased those. It's 2 different people, but even if not, I am greatly appreciative. Those orders need to be filled. One of them is due tomorrow, so I'm going to be working on that actually pretty much all night tonight because I have to run and go grab the supplies and resources to do that. We've been running low on a couple things, and I've been swamped with school and family. And then after that, we're going to be working on the second one, which will be due in a couple weeks, but it includes notes, Imperial notes, our currency, the Unity medal, which I have to hand sew, which is part of our package tonight. Tonight's package is notes and Unity medal. Next 2 weeks' package is notes, Unity medal, and an aluminum ingot. Somebody bought one of our aluminum ingots as well, helping our metals refining industry. I'm really grateful, and hopefully enriching that nation a little bit as well, or that individual. So that being the case, I am going to have to be working on all that. I'm going to be doing some melting, I'm going to be doing some sewing, and I'm going to be doing some Imperial Treasury work. And all of that is going to be, as well as writing the handwritten note that I always give, just thanking that person, talking to them. All of that is going to be a little bit hard to get put together pretty quickly. So I don't know how well the video timeline is going to work out that I want to put out, but I would love to talk more about that. First off, Vincent said, "Did I miss the stream? Dang it!" No, you didn't, Vincent. We're chill. We're hanging out for a little bit. Probably won't be too much longer as the sun is exiting the sky and is entering the other side of the earth opposite to us. But nonetheless, we will still be here for a few minutes, and I really wanted to bring up that concept of quests. So let me know what you think about that. Vincent, essentially, I was telling everybody that quests are going to be this concept where Aeternia needs something right now, and we want to get some help for it. So we post on our website and on the Discord, hey, we have a quest up. We want this thing done. And then depending on what the quest is, either everybody that submits something to it may get some reward, or if the reward is something really valuable, that only one person, the person who we pick, will actually win the thing from all of these submissions. And so that's what we want to try and do, is to figure out, we of course have some ideas for prizes and for rewards, and as well some things for what these quests could be. But let me know if you would be interested in doing those quests. You know, as a citizen, you are, of course, able to participate in those quests, but we would even have foreign dignitaries and sovereigns, just other people out in our community, who would be interested in potentially pursuing that. So I'm not sure if you voted in the Discord poll, but we did have a Discord poll about it, and we got some support. So I'd be curious to see what your thoughts on that are as a citizen, and as well just for the rest of the community. Ari, same thing to you. It's good to see you, Ari. We're talking about micronational friendships and why those are so important. Then we went to talking into how to make that practical and valuable for us. So all the different things that we discussed as to the benefits, how we put that to use. And that's where I was talking about this idea of the quest system, or essentially a way for us to put out things that we are interested in, that we need done, that would provide additional value to the community. A lot of the time people feel like, as small micronations, well, I can't do anything with other people, I can't develop trade, and I can't make these friendships because I don't have anything to offer, so I just have to wait and sit around and hope that eventually I can build up enough to do that. But if you had somebody who would say, hey, all you got to do is submit to this thing and try your best with a skill or talent that you have, and we will give you some kind of valuable reward. Then you get some valuable. Uh, Hold up. First off, Vincent said it's dark here. What, bro? Alabama's on a different level right now. It is definitely getting dark. My phone's pretty good about having an adjustment for that, but it is getting dark pretty fast here too. Although it's not fully dark, so we're just a little bit on that curve, different from you, but not too many degrees. We're gonna be sitting in it in just a second. But essentially, that idea that we can provide some benefit to the community that enriches those smaller nations who are able to win that reward, and then from there they are able to work on actually developing their own interests and potentially trading amongst themselves for those different things that they've either gained through our quests or things that they have just developed on their own. So I'd be really curious to see what your thoughts are there. Ari says, "Ooh, all right. Hey, I appreciate it, Ari. Are you vibing with the idea?" I know that for me, that's been one of the struggles, especially initially starting Aeternia. We were trying to get this idea out, trying to talk to people about why this is so important. We were getting a few citizens here and there trying to make different moves, but ultimately it always came to, oh, but we don't have money. Oh, it'd be so cool to do this thing with all our citizens, but we don't have money. Oh, it'd be so cool to do all these different things with a different micronation, but we don't have anything to trade. We don't have anything of value. So having a way to spread kind of that value and that wealth, especially as the community has been so good to us, if we can find ways to, within our means, obviously we don't have a lot of money, but finding ways to slowly build up what those rewards are as that system becomes more popular, hopefully we can make a real impact and make people feel supported in the community, even if that's just promotion. You know what I mean? Telling people, hey, if you win, we shout you out in our next video. Hey, if you win, if you complete this quest, we're going to, have a whole interview with you about your micronation or whatever. Vincent said, "Oh, I missed this. I'm sorry. I was making stuff in my garage, getting better at woodworking and stuff." Hey, that's very cool. Congrats, Vincent. Woodworking is definitely very important. I definitely feel like that's one of the tougher things about developing a micronation. There's so many different skills you need, but I appreciate that as well. You'll have to let me know how you're doing on the vitae planning stuff. I'm curious to see it. I thought Eric was going to end up dropping a thing as well, but he said he wasn't particularly interested in that. So if you're still interested in developing yours, we can go ahead and put that up as a video. If not, just let me know. Ari says, for doing stuff with our citizens or other citizens, it could be by doing things online. Oh, I completely agree. Well, some of it, I think just about all of it's going to be online, but it could be different ranges of stuff, from like submit art to submit, clips from our channel that you like, to write us and tell us what the most important thing about micronationalism is, or send us a picture that shows you, with your nation's flag or whatever. Finding something that really has a lot of interest and excitement built around it, and then being able to take that and show a way that you've helped your community or whatever, and then taking those rewards and being able to show off and say, hey, look at all these cool micronations who are all doing all this different stuff. Hey, look, we were able to send this micronation who did like the coolest micronational science project of 2020, 12,023. We have a little metal ingot that we sent them for their hard work, or we have a sign that we sent them that said thank you or whatever. There's a lot that we can do. Vincent said, "Where's this poll so I can vote?" First off, I would say the poll is in the general chat. If you go look in the general chat and type in poll, like in the little search thing, it should come up pretty quick. Or if you type in like quests, it should come up. It was, I think, a few days ago. Vincent said, where's this poll so I can go vote? But in the future, if you want, I can sew some of those ribbons on the medals. You just have to send me the colors and design to make things easier on you. Hey, I appreciate it, Vincent. That would mean a lot. I will say, so it's kind of a weird thing where, like, yeah, I'll hit it up. I'll hit you up on it, for sure. Because we definitely need it. The thing that's weird about it is we don't do it in bulk enough. Like, if we, and also I might want to start making our own medals, like medals, METALS, for our medals, MEDALS. Um, I'd like to start making more customized stuff, but that all being the case, I can definitely do that and send you some supplies. It's just that if we only get one every, you know, one every few weeks or one every month or whatever, then not even one or two every year, right? Like if we're getting like just a couple every once in a while, it makes it really hard to make it worthwhile for us to like send you all the supplies and pay for all the shipping that way, and then for you to send us all the finished ones, pay for shipping that way. Unless we did it like as one big bulk thing, which I would again certainly appreciate. I just think it'd take forever for us to get rid of the stock. Maybe not. Like as we get bigger and bigger, if we start like really pumping out Unity medals, I will hit you up, and I'm sure there'll be similar things that we can do. If you want to come up with a medal design, Vincent, I can definitely do that. And if you sew it together, we can start like advertising them on the site, and if people buy them, then we can do that as well. So there are a lot of options. I didn't think about that with your sewing background as well. You do have a sewing machine now, so not only can you do flags and stuff, but you could also do medals if you wanted. That would be incredible, and I think that'd be a great way for your business to make money as well. Um, Vincent said, "Oh yeah, the map. I'm still doing some research on different city plannings, and I have a book on Mobile, Alabama in the 1890s and early 1900s, some other city planning books. So I'm doing that right now. Hey, very cool. I appreciate it, Vincent. So you guys, that'll be cool. In the future, if we end up getting that video out pretty quick, that's something to consider. Like Vince is doing like historical research on this, so I'll have to do my due diligence in the video then. And as we talk and as we keep going, let me know what you're thinking. Let me know in your design what you've actually incorporated from different aspects of history, so that I can be like, hey, this is where we did these different things, and this is why Vincent's thinking about this particular design concept. So that's a great question. Not a great question. That's a great statement. I am excited to see that, Vincent. Thank you. As well as starting to get dark in the area. It's, the camera looked a little bit grainy a minute ago. Now it's looking very grainy. It's looking like that intentional effect that I put on our more previous edited videos. Candace says, what part of Europe are most of your ancestors from? Oh, goodness. It's a strange question. I don't know. I do not know. So I was born in South Louisiana, so I consider myself a Cajun, but I don't have a super thick Cajun accent or anything, and I don't believe my family is Cajun through its lineage. Like neither of my parents were born in South Louisiana, so they're, I guess, culturally Cajun because they lived there for so long, but maybe not like ethnically Cajun, I guess. It's a difficult thing. So I don't know fully where all of my ancestors are from, I guess. These are great questions. But I'm excited to see the city planning stuff, and I legitimately think that trying to do stuff like this is going to make a huge impact for what we can do as a community and how we can bring together those friendships. So again, I wanted to tell you guys how much I appreciate you all for being here, first and foremost, and for supporting our stream, but also just for being a community with us. Again, like I said, a lot of my friendships that I've met through the Micronational community have been incredibly near and dear to me, and I am so sorry that in a lot of ways I haven't been able to do more with that. I have contributed a lot, I feel like, in thought and in support of others and in trying to promote others, but have not been able to provide a lot as far as long-term projects, as far as big exciting things to do as individual nations partnering together. And so that's one of the things that I hope for Aeternia's future. What I would like to push for is, as we continue to build, that we build first and foremostly with our citizens, with people in our community like you all on an individual level, and to try and make sure that we can come together more close-knit as a community through things like those quests, through things that will help us to promote activity in who we are and in expressing that, and in shouting out all the people who are wonderful and amazing and supporting us like this. And then going from that to actually moving into larger scale projects with other micronations, starting to do more foreign diplomacy, starting to invest more in those other nations, and making bigger and better projects externally. So that's a big kind of hope for us and a potential timeline. I really am trying to think through this process very carefully. At a certain point, we're just gonna have to do it and try and reach out as friends do and say I'm excited for what comes in the future. But excuse me, my life. Until then, I will have to think on it more and again, just continue to update you guys. Real quick, I guess I'll say if you aren't following us on TikTok, you definitely should. Same thing with Twitter and Instagram. At Aeternian Empire, at Aeternia Gov, and at the Aeternian Empire, I think are all three of those. So if you can go check us out there, it's really appreciated. Our handle here on YouTube is at AeterniaGov as well. We have our website, eternianempire.wixsite.com/Imperial Market. If you type in the Empire of Aeternia on YouTube, on Google, excuse me, you should find a lot of these links. But that'll lead you to our website, which will lead you to our Etsy store, where you can buy stuff like our medals, stuff like our currency, and some of our other products. And in saying all of that, in hyping all of that, I'm just trying to express that we're doing a lot, and we're trying to get out there a little bit further. So the more that you guys teach us about what we can do, how we can improve, how we can grow, the more you interact with us, the better we'll get at it. Again, I'm grateful for everybody being here tonight, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. I'll probably be posting more of my little thoughts here and there on our TikTok and on our Twitter and Instagram. So definitely support us there. Again, if you would like to see more content there. It's just easier sometimes to get a little one word, one sentence thought, whatever, out on those platforms than it is here. But again, let us know. We're trying to boost our watch time here and our subscribers here, so we'll be doing more here as well. But again, until next time, see you guys.